Araba gideceksin. Çok şey.
So, hello everyone. Before I begin, I want to ask you something. Have you ever felt like the world is moving too fast for you? Like everything around you is rushing forward while you are struggling just to keep up. Your heart starts beating so fast it feels like it might burst. Your chest tightens until it's hard to breathe. And inside your head, it's like 100 voices are all speaking at once, crowding your thoughts, drowning out your focus. No matter how hard you try, no matter how much effort you put in, it still feels like you are falling short. I have felt that way too, more often than I would like to admit. And if you've ever been under pressure, whether it's from your school, from your friends, from your family, even from your own expectations, then you already understand what real pressure feels like. For a long time, I believed pressure was only a bad thing. I thought it was a kind of weight that only drags people down, a kind of force that makes us weaker, smaller, more afraid. But over time, I have come to believe something very different. Because now I believe pressure can actually be precious. Because pressure, as uncomfortable as it feels, can help you grow. If you learn how to face it. If you let it shape you rather than break you. The way I learned to handle pressure was through something called mindfulness. Maybe you have heard that word before. A lot of people think that mindfulness is just about sitting cross-legged on the floor, closing your eyes and meditating for hours. Or maybe they imagine a peaceful person on top of a quiet mountain, far away from all the noise and stress of real life. But the truth is, mindfulness is so much more than that. And the best part, you don't need a mountain. You don't need perfect silence. You don't even need a lot of time. All you really need is yourself and a willingness to slow down, even for just a moment. Mindfulness is paying attention to the present moment without judging yourself. It's being aware of what's happening inside you and around you without trying to fight it or escape it. When you feel overwhelmed, when the pressure starts to build, mindfulness teaches you to pause, even for just a moment, and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What's happening inside me? It teaches you to notice your thoughts and feelings, like clouds passing through the sky instead of letting them control you or define you. It teaches you that feelings are not permanent. They come, they stay for a while, but sooner or later they go. And once you understand that, you begin to realize something powerful. You can't always control what you feel, but you can choose how to respond. So I want to share the first moment where I truly understand what real pressure feels like. It was the beginning of prep year in high school, and everything in my life was about to change. I had just moved from Düzce, the place where I was born, the place where I had spent my whole childhood, to Istanbul. Looking back now, I can say without a doubt, it was one of the hardest things I have ever done. I left behind everything I knew. My friends, my teachers, the streets where I grew up, the routines that made me feel safe, all of it was suddenly gone. I had stepped out of the only world that I knew and found myself in one of the biggest, busiest and crowded cities on earth, Istanbul. A new home, a new school, new faces, new expectations, and an entirely new version of myself that I hadn't figured out yet. I remember my first day at Eyüboğlu High School like it was yesterday. The hallways were crowded with students. Everyone already seemed to belong somewhere. Talking, laughing, surrounded by friends, moving confidently from place to place. Everyone seemed to know the rhythm of this new world except for me. I walked through the crowd, and even though I was surrounded by so many people, I have never felt more invisible in my life. It was as if the world pushed play, and everyone was moving forward at double speed while I was stuck on pause, unsure how to take the next step. My heart was pounding so hard, it felt like it might break out of my chest. My hands were cold and shaking. My thoughts were racing in every direction, and more than anything, I wanted to disappear, to escape, to just stop feeling that way. That day I learned something important. Pressure makes the mind really loud. But as the days passed and the feeling didn't disappear overnight, I started to understand something more powerful. When you stop, when you breathe, when you allow yourself to be still, the noise begins to fade away. And in that quiet, you can listen not to the voices of pressure from outside, not to the voices of fear or doubt, but you can listen to your own voice, to what's really happening inside you. That was the beginning of mindfulness for me. That was the moment I started to understand that pressure doesn't always have to crush you. Sometimes it can teach you how to grow. When I reached 10th grade, it was time to choose a project for the personal project program, something we will work on independently and something meaningful to us. I spent a lot of time thinking what I wanted to do. I kept asking myself, what's something that really matters to me? What's something I have struggled with, and what could I possibly do to help others with? And then I realized something. If pressure had been such a painful and hard experience for me, I couldn't be the only one. I wasn't special in that struggle. There must be so many other students, especially younger ones just starting middle school, who were facing the exact same way but have no idea how to deal with it. That's when I decided on my project. I would write a book. The book for middle school students about mindfulness and handling stress. At first, I thought I was writing this book for them, for those who are feeling overwhelmed, stressed, anxious. But as I began working on it, I started to realize something more different. The more I wrote, the more I practiced what I was writing about. Each time I explained the breathing exercise, I found myself, I was really actually stopped to actually breathe. Each time I wrote about staying in present or calming your mind in a stressful moment, I applied the same advice to my own life. The process of writing and practicing mindfulness became a quite impersonal journey for me. Without realizing, I was slowly healing myself as well. I started to feel stronger, more balanced, more powerful. Even the world around me stayed as challenging as before. So, this isn't just mine. Many people, even the strongest and most powerful, fear pressure. One of them is Simone Biles, one of the greatest gymnasts at history. At Tokyo Olympics, everyone expected her to win gold. But under immense pressure, she did something incredibly brave. She stopped. She chose her mental health over medals. Simone showed us that true strength isn't pushing through at any cost. It's knowing when to breathe, pause, and care for yourself. That's the power of mindfulness. One moment where I used mindfulness in my life was during my first Model United Nations conference. Speaking in front of so many people, defending ideas, debating serious topics felt so overwhelming. When I first tried to speak, I froze. Cold hands, racing heart, and a blank mind. Then I remembered, breathe, be here. I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and focused on each sentence at a time. I stopped trying to impress and started being in present. That's when I realized that mindfulness doesn't erase pressure, but it helps you carry it. So here you can see 3 practical techniques that really help me, and I hope they will help you as well. The first one is 4-7-8 breathing. You inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and exhale in 8 seconds. Just a few minutes, your nerve system calms down. And the second one is name it to tame it. When the strong emotion starts to arise, just name them. I feel anxious. I feel overwhelmed. Naming the emotions will reduce some of its power. And the last one is anchor moments. Find something that grounds you in that moment, like a breath, or the feeling of your feet on the floor, a favorite song, or a view from your window. That anchor can steady you while your mind starts to drift away. So, if you ever feel like you are drowning in schoolwork, expectations, responsibilities, or even in your own thoughts, just remember this. You are not alone. So many of us stood where we are right now, and you are far stronger than you think. When everything feels too heavy, let yourself do something simple but powerful. Stop, breathe, and offer yourself the same kindness you will give to a struggling friend. What feels overwhelming today may one day become the strength that shapes you right now. Pressure isn't a punishment. It's a challenge, a lesson, an ultimate gift. Thank you truly for listening to me.